What's good? It's your boy CZARR, all rights reserved, coming to you. Shout out Commenter Nation. Hit that like button, comment, and share. And by the way, share. You could save all the videos I drop. Listen, share, save, like, comment, drop a hashtag Commenter Nation to show salute in the comments. Holler at everyone else. I love when you guys chat with everybody else here. That's what we do over here. We bring it together, we give our opinions, and we link up. Now, let's talk about it. One of the things I had brought up is not only dealing with the deal, it's who basically came up the most. Now, it's hard for me to say. A lot of people saying you, Jenny, they're saying you came up the hardest. That's what it is. You came up the hardest. Now, that's crazy because I see what they're saying with that. Now, next up, you already know. Somebody brought up the situation and they agree that some friends around him came up a lot. But now in comments, a lot of people saying you came up, Cleo. Over here, we got to be objective. Look, Commenter Nation, shout out to y'all. A lot of you saying she came up. So tell me, how do you guys feel about people looking at it objectively and honestly thinking you guys came up, both of you? And it's funny because you two were the two that linked up before the come up actually was known. She was living with you before we even knew what was going on. And I still heard no word of the other women that have claimed to have been in her situation being tested. But I always hear stories about them being threatened and being basically coerced to not tell the truth. Now, what are your thoughts on this? I have yet to see y'all react to that. And I know you don't want to test every girl that says it. No one's saying test every girl. But I tell you, there's two girls I've seen that have shown me convincing proof. Convincing proof. One of the girls, the son looks like a midget him. So I'm kind of confused. Where are we going with that? Now, I'm asking y'all this because these are certain things we brought up before. Remember? We brought these type of things up before. As we knew respectfully, we don't know how he get down. We don't know how his body, what he goes and does on his side, who he had on the side. But we do remember she was questioning him about girls, right, Jenny? You were questioning him about other girls, right? That was actually one of the last things we seen. One of the last posts he had to do with charity. Remember, he turned his life around. He was helping other people. So in the midst of doing that, this happens to him. Very mysterious to me. I don't know about y'all, but this is very mysterious to me. Turns out that favors were being done around the side for people that I don't think they had good intentions for him. Correct me if I'm wrong. We called out Scheme with the whole thing. You know, we already know who's putting dislikes on that one. Come on. Come on. Y'all all came up. Really. Scheme came up with a deal from Empire. Cleo came up to the ownership of the money. And it's crazy because the baby mother came up out of nowhere. The only one that came up making claims. And we haven't even seen test results. Yet she seems... Now, let me ask you this. What do you think she knows if, let's say she allegedly was being coerced into her situation because of the knowledge she has? What would it be about, in your opinion? Put it in the comments below. Put it in the comments below. Put what you think she would know that she's coming up so hard or that she needs to be fed money for some reason. Now, remember, she attacked all the videos I posted dealing with her. Of her habits, I knew she was doing. People were saying threats she was making to other women. Why would I make a threat to a woman saying they had the baby unless I really thought they did and weren't lying? Can you tell me that? So am I to assume every girl you made a threat to, there may have been truth to it? Because we already knew you had a problem with him hanging around other women. We seen that clearly on the video where you're questioning him. And you really don't care. He's brushing you off. That's a fact, man. I can't argue that on your behalf because we've seen your reaction to the point where I think you would be mad enough to threaten these girls. I think you would. You don't think you would? You don't think you would? I could see you doing that. I could see you doing that. Let alone everything I'm looking at, you're posting live. You're hanging out with Scheme. Now, Scheme has been scheming on his friends since the beginning. We know he doesn't try stuff openly. It's been scheming, just like his name. You want to know something I learned? Sometimes people live out the moniker of their name. You never heard of that? People live out the moniker of their name. And the funny thing is, if he's scheming, was it for him to be in the position to be next to you? So he wanted you that bad. He had to do anything by any means to get close to you. I I don't see what guys are tripping over you about. Like, put it this way, respectfully. You haven't had any surgery. Your body's flat. It's normal. Like, it's not your average. So you're telling me he's seen your body, he had to have you. Then we also showed the post where he said you stunk down there. He had that post. That was real. I didn't make that up. How could I make something like that up? I'm not worried about what you smell like. I could care less. He said she stunk. Bad hygiene? Jenny, you're so tricky to do all this stuff and you got bad hygiene. Really? Let's talk about that for a second. How do you got bad hygiene? You're like, what, a $110? How can you stink and you're a $110? You have no weight, no fat overlapping. So you just don't wash yourself. That's the only thing I consume. You go from party to party, you don't wash yourself. Even the biggest slurs I could think of wash themselves. So you don't wash up. You just go from party to party stinking it up. And dudes just be wanting a piece. Let me tell y'all something else. One thing that's not talked about a lot is, if you didn't know, a lot of things that will have a woman's pH off and stinking, and I don't have a deal like the rest of them, like a Tasha K or something. So maybe she can direct you to fix that smell. But my thing with that is, the only thing I could think of, guys, you know what makes a woman stink? STDs can make a woman stink too. Just so you know, if you didn't have that sex lesson, that can really make a woman stink. And a man, to some extent, a man, but a woman 150%. Because a lot of women you see out here, if you're around them, they got a bad smell to them. Sometimes you'll catch them with an STD. That's just fact. That's just knowledge of life, period. So I'm teaching y'all if y'all didn't know that. So I was real curious about that. Then I never seen a pregnancy test. And I'm saying they got to test other things. Like, really? Like, I'm confused. Okay, let's do this. Any women that have knowingly, 100% had contact with him around that time, if there's anything else going on, please let us know. That will help. Because also, Jenny, behind the scenes, now, I don't know truthfulness behind this. There is someone that is claiming they have proof you are messing with his siblings behind the scenes. Is that true? You had a fling with a sibling of his? I don't know. Listen, this is what's being told to me. Is it true or not? I want to know. They don't like questions. Yo, don't they hate these questions? Why they hate questions? I don't understand. If you could prove it's not true, prove it. If I could prove that his kid's mine, why not show it? It's his, right? Oh, you can't tell. Look. So you want me to assume whatever's shown to me is true, but you want people to know it's for a fact and you're not proving it. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. The thing is, everything here is objective and I'm asking questions. But you guys say for fact. You never like me questioning you were saying stuff as a fact. Never. Since the beginning, you didn't like it. What I don't understand, I found more shady dealings around Jenny than anyone. One of the suspects saying he knew you. One of the suspects saying, oh, I talked to her. How? They don't really, your ex barely rock with them. So how'd you know him? What, they got a chance to smell what it is he smelled? Can you explain that to me? I'm kind of confused with that one. I don't understand. Now, earlier, I know X's sister reached out to me, and I held it back because I wanted to talk about things. But if you still got something to get out there, you could reach to me. I don't care what none of them saying. If they're like, don't do that, don't listen, you're good. Reach out to me if you got something to say, you're good money. But aside from that, it is what it is. So, is there something going on where you smelled bad that happened? Because you can't deny he posted that to someone. Come on. Just tell the truth. That's something they don't like. Yo, why do they not like the truth when it comes to a boy that they say they were committed to, they loved? You should be fighting tooth and nail. Yet, I see these suspects fighting tooth and nail. Next, I'm going to give my thoughts on the whole situation with the father saying he wanted to see the penalty to end one of the suspects' life. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. We got to talk before you do that. That's up next. This is your boy CZARR, All Rights Reserved, rocking with the greatest nation since United Nations. Commenter Nation, we in the building. Come through. You already know how I rock. All Rights Reserved.